Hello. Welcome back to the next episode of Subnatica Below Zero. Last time, we explored more of this planet, found more life forms, talked about it. It is pretty amazing. I love this place. However, I have a little bit of a pet peeve. Welcome to the only problem this series is gonna have. I hope y'all don't mind, because I'm gonna be complaining a tiny bit every episode for the rest of the series. Anyway, let's talk about this pet peeve. So, Subnautica Below Zero is technically it's technically a sequel, but it's also its own game. But they don't make it like that. They kind of make it like its own game. So, I will tell you this now: there is little to no stuff from the original. If there is anything from the original, it's going to be like, some equipment and maybe some animals. Like you'll see bladderfish, you'll see boomerang fish like right here, and you'll see hoopty fish. But that's basically about it. Most of the Subnautica creatures are missing. Or they're just reused or redone or repurposed. So I have a bit of a pet peeve with that because it's like, what about the Ghost Leviathan? It would totally be in this environment. It could totally survive out here. Same for the Reaper Leviathan. He might be made of muscle, but he's basically a giant grizzly bear. He could technically live out here. I just turned all that into lube. Well, fuck my life. Let me go get more. That's what lube is for. Anyway, uh, yeah, I fucked up. Gotta go. Let me go get two of these, and then we'll keep talking. So yeah, there's a couple of things that are from the original Subnautica, but most of this is going to be new stuff, and I kind of have a pet peeve about that because they could totally reuse some of the old creatures. In fact, I kind of expected it. In the original beta, there was bone sharks and stalkers. Yeah, the two creatures from the original game that would make sense for being here. Like, bone sharks would totally be here because guess what? They're dark skinned, they're mostly muscle, they're mostly fast eating machines. So they would adapt perfectly here. Like, there are some sharks that live in the Arctic and in other deeper, warmer climates. So basically, great whites. They're one of the most aggressive migrators of the whole shark kingdom. Like, they will go into cold water just to hunt down seals, which is not good, like they shouldn't be doing that, but they do it anyway. So the bone shark would have no problem here because it would technically be the same situation where they would migrate here for multiple reasons. Like they would basically go out into the deep water and go hunting. Because the thing about the bone shark is that it's a dark skinned creature, so it's able to blend in with the abyss, but it has light eyes. So the only thing that would technically be bothered by that is maybe the ghost leviathan, and it would see it and try to attack it. But because it's so small, maybe the ghost leviathan doesn't care. It sees it as just a small creature and avoids it. So it doesn't want it. It just wants plankton. So that would be an interesting concept for it to migrate to these waters, maybe for like hunting and enjoying themselves, and then once they need to breed, they go to the original Subnautica location. That'd be kind of a cool idea, but they don't utilize it, which is really annoying. And then the stalkers, they decided to change them entirely and make them into a different subspecies, which is fine. But wouldn't the original stalker be here as well? Because like the original stalker is like a sailfish. It's like streamlined. It's able to go from point A to point B. So you'd think it would leave its warmer waters and maybe come here for different reasons. Like it'd probably be here because maybe the mineral resources are just that good. It'd migrate from point A to point B. But no, the stalker's just completely repurposed. Then you got like the Reaper that would have been in this game. It would have been a subspecies. But no, they changed that. They said, oh, no, they don't want that. And they made a completely different creature, which I'm appreciative for that new creature. But I would have liked the Reaper. There's a lot of creatures that just get abandoned, and I don't understand why. There's a couple that would have made sense here. Like the fucking crab squid. That's another good one that would have been perfect for here. Because it already lives in deep water anyway. So it wouldn't mind the cold, and it would just come over here for probably, food or something. There's just a lot of Arctic animals that would come here. Thankfully, there is a couple of creatures that come here that make perfect sense. Like, I will say this now, there is multiple fish like the boomerang fish, the bladder fish, and stuff like that that come here, which is really nice. I like how they reuse those animals because those would be here, you know, like tuna, multiple types of like mackerel, multiple types of like fish, multiple will migrate to the colder climates for different reasons. They'll do it for anything. So I want that to be a thing where they reuse all the creatures. So that was a pet peeve. I'm just saying, like could have been. Anyway, so we are missing some materials. So let me drop all this off. We don't need this in our inventory. We put this over here. Let's go find some scannables. Probably back at the emergency supply cache. Actually, look for the Sea Glide because that is what we need for speed. I'm gonna grab some of this along the way too. Bingo. Okay, this is what we need. This is the thing that's the most important thing. There you go. In the original Subnautica, the Sea Glide was used for transportation. So this is the same thing. It is used with 3 blueprints. I believe the blueprints were shuffled around a bit. It used to be like 2, then they changed it to 3, then they changed it to 2, and then they changed it to 3, and it's like, motherfucker, just pick a number. Pick a number. It doesn't matter. It's just a simple equipment. Goddamn. It doesn't need to be complicated or nothing. You just make it a thing. We need a battery. Go grab a battery real quick. I know what you're thinking. Ember, why don't you just reuse the battery trick and recharge it instantly? Well, fellow viewer, the original Subnautica battery trick doesn't work in this game. Yeah, they just straight up got rid of it. They said, okay, that's a bug, and got rid of it. So now, you can't use the power source in here to recharge batteries. You can't do that. So if I were to take this battery, and I were to replace it with a 90, then I put the 100 away, the game will remember that battery charge, and they will make it into a thing.
The Sea Glide is a personal transportation device used for high-speed freediving. Contains a built-in light and map.
Yep, 90% charge. They just completely butchered it. They said, fuck it. It's too much work. Let me grab some of these flares, because I believe there's other creatures that are afraid of the flare, but I can't remember. So now we got our little Sea Glide going, so we can go. We had to go to the emergency supply cache, pick up the shit that's there. And by the way, these beacons, this is new. Subnautica didn't have beacons like this where it's just randomly out in the open. So this is kind of them experimenting and trying to figure out what they want to do with beacons. So I'm not going to be crafting beacons. I'm going to just steal these. Why not? You know? I will, however, steal these.
Oxygen.
Go up and breathe. That was what I wanted to build, a fucking oxygen tank. I just wasn't thinking. What's that?
I'm telling you, Sammy, you see some weird things when you spend half your day in a sea truck.
More vandalism? Was it the sea monkeys again?
I don't think so. I can't shake the feeling this planet is cursed.
There's no such thing as a curse.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's
No,
nothing.
no, no, no.
You wouldn't want to hear about it anyway. Just a huge creature frozen in ice.
What? Where?
In a cave, not far from your lab. And here's the extra weird part. As soon as I called it in, they closed off the area. Don't want anyone going in there.
But why?
Sammy, I'm no biologist, but I think there was something wrong with it. Its skin just seemed off. Alien.
An alien on planet 4546b. No.
I'm serious, man. Something ain't right. Wish I could show you, but I can't get back in there.
You can't. But I might know how to.
Whatever you're thinking, we never had this conversation.
You do realize these conversations are recorded, so.
Show or hide the signals of your choice with your XenoWorks PDA. Now with surface support.
Now it's surface support. So yeah, okay, we got another bit of a clue. Sam went to go investigate this giant Leviathan thing, so we gotta go find that. Might give us a clue or something. Anyway, so we got no oxygen. We have to go in here for this. So we have to use our buttons and make sure that we swim as quickly as we can. Because obviously we ain't got no oxygen down here. So one of the gimmicks of Subnautica Below Zero is that they changed up, cave travel a bit. So there's a lot less caves, but they come with a lot more resources. So caves are a bit different in this. So expect to find a lot of resources and things inside of caves. In the original Subnautica, there was a bunch of caves, but not all of them were good. Some of them were just kind of caves. They just existed. So these are a lot more thought out and built up. And there shouldn't be too many caves to begin with. There's just a few of them, so we should be able to just go around. Don't see any other thing. Breathe real quick. There's more to that cave than meets the eye, but I need a fucking better oxygen source. So,
New blueprint synthesized.
Ember, there's no reason to get that. That only makes bandages. It's only gonna make med kits and shit. Well, they changed something very important. The oxygen tank. So, in colder water, oxygen is going to be a lot more dense because of pressure and temperature. It all affects the density of the gas. So, to make it a little bit more scientific and a lot more harder, they made it to where you need fiber mesh for an oxygen tank. And I almost forgot about that. You need two, I believe. Oh, you only need one. Okay, well that extra will be used for something else in the future.
Adding additional blueprints to your databank.
Yeah, we got air pumps now. So we can...
Standard oxygen tank can be upgraded for deluxe and VIP breathing.
I am not cooking my fucking symbiote. Fuck that. It's like, oh, you want the symbiote? No.
New creature discovered.
Alright, so it's nighttime. I can now scan things, so we can scan the bladderfish. It is all the same info from before. It's the same creature. So if you go and find these creatures, you can just scan them, and just like, mackerels and, sardines and all that, they have the same, shit. So we don't have to read these. I have already read them before in the original Subnautica. Also, you can just read them. So, sorry if you wanted to hear my voice do it, but I'm only going to read the new stuff because it's new. The Arctic Peeper. This is technically a peeper, but it is a variant. Because the peeper was more adapted to rock and stone and warm water, it could not blend in this environment. So it blended in as ice. So it is camouflaged against the ice like a common peeper. It is fast and relatively intelligent, allowing it to survive in large numbers. Research notes. Don't like to auto-generate the name. Iceclops. So it was originally called Iceclops by the machine because of the Cyclops, which was the machine used in Subnautica. I will tell you now, not in this game. So if you like that machine, it's not here. I hope it gets brought back in the new Subnautica games because the Cyclops was awesome. Is it a Coral Bridge? But yeah, it's not in this game. No Cyclops for you. There is other things you can build and do. Okay, so let me keep going around. I'm trying to find other materials and stuff. Here we go. You might want to stay close to these walls. These walls might have important things by them. Alright, I'm too far away now. I can't go this way because there's something important here, but I do have these. In the original Subnautica, the only food you could technically eat was the fish around you. So there was no like plants or anything that would produce food. You'd just have to eat fish and stuff until you grow the stuff on the islands. But here, there's food just growing right here, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just kind of chill and eat food. It's kind of nice to have like an alternative that isn't just fish and salt. Goddamn. Look at the boys. Look at them go. Oh my god. They just ate that guy. Holy shit. Oh, and they ate that guy too. Holy shit. Symbiotes are evil. They eat everything. They're just defending their holes. Defend your holes, brother. Defend your holes. I don't blame you. Nobody wants their hole ravaged. Goddamn, they want their hole played with, not ravaged. So as you can see, this is kind of another good thing about Below Zero is that it plays with the lighting from each environment. Like I said, it's all about environment, so you can actually kind of see environments grow and flourish a little bit here. I think this is story driven. I don't want to go this way if it is. Yes, so we avoid this. All right, so yeah, there's a couple things that are story driven, and I don't want to go to them just yet. I want to explore other things and collect my blueprints. Hello. Yeah, you can pretty much collect these if they're frozen. If they're frozen, you can just kind of collect them. So I know that this one is my symbiote. These are just extras. If I just drop them, then fuck them. So yeah, if they're frozen, you can just pick them up. If I, oh, okay, well. Yeah, this is kind of the easier place to collect these things. I kind of wish there was a brine gun for catching fish, but there isn't. So you just kind of swim by. Such a beautiful environment. I love this place. I don't like the brinicles because obviously they're dangerous, and I believe they can hurt your base as well. But it is quite the spectacle. Like, just looking at it, it's so nice. I like how they don't even touch the ground either. They just shatter. It'd be kind of cool if they did touch the ground. You could see like trails of brine. Just a brine river. I think what happens is that the surface water is just regular fresh water that leaks down. So whenever it leaks down, it has a much easier freezing point than the salt water around them. I think if it has too much salt, it freezes faster, but I think if it doesn't have enough salt, it'll also freeze. So yeah, there's tons of ways for it to freeze over. Speaking of cool, like, bullshit science, look at this guy. Oh. Glow whale. This was supposed to be the reef back of this environment. It's meant to be just a large whale that swims around. Sadly, it was not properly used. They added it anyway, but it doesn't really have any features or anything. It's just a creature. Which is fine, but it'd be cool if everything had like a thing to do, but you know, I'm glad it's in the game. It's a bird. Hello. Then you can kind of grab his head too and just kind of ride him. This is another cool feature about this game. You can ride some creatures. So he's gonna go around and like grab food and stuff. We're not technically riding him. He's still following his normal path. I think he does have the gimmick of if you're riding him, he'll stay at the surface. So that way he'll breathe still, but otherwise he just kind of swims around. Very cool. Nothing cool or interesting about him. He doesn't have any, like, you know, barnacles or nothing. He's just a giant super whale. He's a little bit too earthenized, if you ask me. Earthenized as in it looks a little bit too earthly. I kind of wish that it was a little bit more alien, because it does kind of feel a little bit too normal. Hey, look, a duck. So this is another weird creature. It's meant to be a seal duck thing. So it's an intelligent creature that forages and does all this stuff, and it's really friendly. Hmm.
Iceberg detected, a hollow chamber typically formed by glacial melt.
Yeah, so these glaciers will have holes in them, so you'll be able to go inside and find stuff. Pretty cool. Here's another new creature. I'm kind of diverting myself away from like the main story. I apologize, but these are so cool. Harmless rays with like sharp teeth. So you don't know if it's harmless or not. You're just kind of exploring.
Warning.
Yeah, I'm way off from the I am way far away from the main objective. I'm just kind of exploring. Such a beautiful environment though. Jump. I believe these creatures can be tamed if you feed them. Can't remember though. I don't remember all the mechanics. Oh boy. Place is getting kind of spooky, not gonna lie. Look at that. A big giant sharp glacier. Oh boy. Now it's getting spookier. Oh jeez. I always hate this about the Arctic, where there's these giant glaciers, but like if you look down, it looks like abyss, because the ground is so dark from all the sediment that doesn't get stirred up, so it just looks like a black abyss down there. There is dirt down there, trust me, but it is very scary from far away. My god. We'll be back here soon. I just wanted to explore a bit. I like exploration in this game. There's a ton to find. Oh, would you look at that? Our first actual threat. I call this guy Brutus. He's a brute shark. He's a slow, dumb-moving shark. Common shark-like predator with low intelligence, relatively streamlined body, fast navigation, yellow stripes and torsos providing camouflage in shallower waters. Slow-moving, ambushes small fish from above. So yep, there are sharks and stuff in this game, like the original Subnautica, and that one's going to be a common one. We're going to be seeing that one a lot. See if I can get back to base. I've just kind of been swimming around. Another creature. Save that one.